Welcome to the awesome. I'm Big Roy, and this is the Strike Force Masters of Launch podcast. And here's my co-host, Chewburger84.
Oh, crikey, mate. How you doing today?
That is so Cockney British. You sound like the Tiny Tim from the Christmas special of the Christmas Carol.
That's funny because I feel like Tiny Tim from the Christmas special.
You definitely sound like the same level of puberty he's gone through, for sure. All right, that voice you are hearing, folks, of course, is not me. And, of course, it's not Roy either. It's Chewburger and Piker, the dream team finally coming together for the first time, my man. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, buddy. How you doing?
Not too bad. I didn't realize until yesterday when we tried our first crack at this before coronavirus morphed into a tech virus that ate our audio, that this was our first time actually partnering up on a pod.
I know, it's crazy. I got to join Roy, I think, twice. But yeah, this is our first time, well, second time now that the tech issues. But yeah, it's great.
Yeah, look, for anyone that is crazy enough to not know who Piker is one of the guys from Alternate Reality. Anything that is on our website or in one of my videos that looks really, really sexy, it was made by him. Anything that looks like it was made by an amateur with crayons and butcher's paper, that was me. So, yeah, those infographics that are on half of your Discords, you're like, oh man, that looks so good. It was probably done by Piker. So make sure you check out his work over at alternatereality.com when you get a chance. And you definitely had some good work the other day, mate, with that Thanos intro on our Black Order video.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, we want to do something fun. We want to keep it interesting. Give people something new that they can see and a new way to interact. So we're always looking to see what we can do that's a little bit different and a little bit fun. So I appreciate it. It seems like some people really liked it.
Yeah, we've had a good response. I think we've had 3 people now just say, look, can you tell Fox next that you're just going to announce their characters from now on? And I said, look, we're fine with that. Like, we have conditions, but yeah, we'll listen.
Yeah, absolutely. Make me an offer.
All right, now give me a sec because I'm going to do some shameless shilling, my man. So this is indeed the Strike Force Masters Launch podcast, available every week. If you'd like to have your questions answered on air, make sure you get them in on our Discord channel. If you have any issues finding it, message me directly at Chewburger84. Now, the reason we're able to do the show every single week is we have awesome support from our community that help more people find the show and help us basically finance our overhead costs, which means that we can keep doing it every week. So if you do have a little bit of spare change and you'd like to help support the show, you can head over to www.patreon.com/SFMOL. And this week, Piker, we're lucky enough to have a few gentlemen actually do exactly that. So to Bowslayer, LFC Avenger, Legriv. Legriv was already a supporter, but he upgraded to Journeyman. Hobbs and Joshua P. Joshua P, if you're listening to this, I've sent you an email through Patreon. I don't have your Discord information, my man. If you could reach out to me, that would be much appreciated. So, yeah, look, we really appreciate all the new signups. We did mention during a couple of streams during the week that, as expected with Corona, we kind of took a little bit of a hit. And we like to make sure that Roy's got a little bit of pocket money since he's working so hard looking after his mum. So, look, we know it's a rough time. If you can't support us, don't stress, guys. There's absolutely a free of charge way to do that. If you head on over to Apple Podcasts, you have the opportunity to leave a review. And if you do that for us, it's very much appreciated. Make sure you're honest. If you don't love us, you don't love us. But if you really do love us, make sure you leave us a 5-star review. And if you do that, we'll make sure we'll read out your question as of the next episode. Now, Roy isn't here, so what we're going to do is do our monthly shout out to all of our patrons next week for the month. And Roy will also read out any reviews that we have. Now, what's been happening for you in game this week, man?
It's been a good week. I was able to finish off a couple characters to 7-star that were, kind of around for a while. I got my Minerva to 7 stars, which was cool. I got my Carnage to 7 stars, which was cool. So that was kind of the big achievements in the game for me this week. So I was pretty pumped about that. How about yourself?
Look, I haven't ticked too many boxes this week. Obviously, Proxima was the big unlock, but that's not really an achievement per se. It's more of the fact that, I spent money. Oh God! Look, if you want to help content creators recover some of that cash, guys, please just watch one of our videos for a couple of minutes if you can when we post new character ones. It just helps us get a few bucks back to cover the cost of those new characters. Because one of the downsides of leaving Envoy is that I did lose my test account. Not that it was ever up to date anyway, I suppose. But to let people know roughly in the game where you're at the moment, mate, what's your daily farm look like? Like, who are you farming right now with your energy?
Yeah, so definitely Colossus every day. Hella. I'm still a little bit behind on my Psylocke, so I hit her every day. And then it's mostly the superior catalysts for DD3. So that's really kind of what I focus on each day, with my energy. So it's just pretty good. No complaints, really.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm still doing the Pokemon thing. I'm trying to get everyone up to max just because who knows what kind of event's going to come soon, right? So I've got Hela and Colossus on their way to 7, Sifil on their way to 7 as well, Hydra Sniper, same boat, Mr. Fantastic, and America Chavez. Actually, they're all on their way to the end. Then we have Strife, who he's come up a lot this week thanks to him being available in the Blitz store, which is one of the really cool things that happened this week. So I went from not having him unlocked at all to now being 75 of 130 on the way to 5 stars.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's come along. I did have one Mega Orb that had him in it as well. So, I mean, that's going to get you there way faster.
Yeah, I've started pulling a lot more of him now that he's in the Blitz store in things like premium orbs and basic orbs. It's like anywhere I turn, I'm getting Strife shards now. Go figure.
So that's been me with Ghost Rider. I can't stop pulling Ghost Rider right now. We're going to talk about something really awesome that happened with Ghost Rider this week as well, which was awesome for people out there who don't mind spending $1 or $2 on this game. So before we get into the news, this week's main topic, boys and girls, I think it's pretty easy to guess, is the Black Order. So we had 4 kits announced during this particular week. There's only one we don't know about so far. So we're going to break down those for you and talk about our initial thoughts and anything else we've learnt since that video about that squad. But before we get into the news, of course, we better check in with our Red Star Watch. So folks, this is where we talk about any of the Red Star gambling orbs that we opened this week. So if you are someone who is prone to gambling addiction or under the age of 18, maybe skip forward about 2 minutes. So what did you open this week, Piker?
So whenever Proxima came, I was sitting on 4 elites and probably 51-ish regular Red Star orbs. So I opened the 4 elites first and got a 4 Red Star Proxima, I think on my 4th pull, my last elite, and I got a 4-star rocket upgrade from 3-star. So those were the only noticeable achievements in the Red Star openings. I was lucky enough to pull a 2 million drop, so I immediately went and opened up some Red Stars, trying to see if Roy's Seed Theory would give me anything, and I got 2 additional 4-star dupes. So no account upgrades, nothing to get excited about. The Seed let me down hard, man.
Yeah, look, I want that to be real so badly, but I mean, I've tried it so many times and it's only worked out for me that once, which was with that, who was it? Hela on getting to 6. So yeah, look, for me, it's too random to be a thing, but I know Roy loves it hard and there's a few people believe in it too, as we're going to hear in our questions today. I decided I would open one of my saved elites as well this week, mate. Mm-hmm. And on that very first one, I got a 4 on Proxima. And I said, you know what? That'll do just fine.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, look, I think anything more than that. And look, we know Red Star scaling is coming in the future as well at some stage. If those proposed things they talked about, look, hopefully falls enough. We'll see. I'm worried that she's a bit squish. Maybe I should have gone harder. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, 4 is still a pretty good baseline for any, new character, especially considering that new characters tend to have slightly higher base stats. The 4 star is going to get you a little bit farther than it would, say, on a established character that's been in the game since global launch.
Yeah, that's a good point. And look, and they said once that they were going to pretty much tune everything into the game to 4 Red Stars as well. Yeah. I don't think that's necessarily true anymore. I think they're tuning it to more like 6 and 7 for endgame, but that is what it is. Should we get to the news of the week, my friend?
Let's do it, sir.
All right. So at the moment, we are playing through the Scientist Supreme Blitz, which is very different in a lot of ways. And some are really good. Some I'm a little bit torn. I don't know how I feel about some of them. You might as well call me Natalie Imbruglia. So, look, Scientist Supreme, normally I go, meh, I don't care. I've got her. She's farmable, whatever. However, the rewards this time, the most exciting change for me, mate, is when you go to the ranked rewards, it is all percentage based.
Absolutely.
Not 1 to 100, 1 to 2,000, 1 to 10. It is top 1%, top 2 to 3%, top 4 to 10. That means a lot more people are going to get rewards. I love this. We've asked for this forever. What do you think?
Absolutely. I could not be more in favor of those percentage-based rewards. I know whenever Fox was looking at doing an update to Blitz like 6 months ago, all of us in Envoy were screaming to do some sort of percentage-based, all the way down the line, ranked rewards. So it's a very pleasant sight to see those in there now. Hopefully they stick. Sometimes we see these things and they kind of go back to normal. So hopefully this is something that stays around for a while.
Oh, absolutely. I think if they made that permanent, I think that'd be a wonderful change to the game with whatever they're considering about Blitz quality of life as well, making it easier to get through your teams. I'm hoping that, Blitz becomes something that, I want to get excited about again. Here's the one I'm torn about, though. I don't know if I love this or if I hate it or if I'm somewhere between. They're giving away red stars for this character, which for the most part, I actually really do like. But whenever we see that you get better red stars, the higher up you go, and we already know that the people who already have everything in the game are the ones in that sort of top 1 to 100, and we're giving them the highest, most powerful characters, it's going to keep widening that power gap between new players and veteran players, or, free-to-play versus Kraken/Whale, or at the moment, just people who are flat out cheating using Blitz bots, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't love the scale that goes up. The good thing in my mind, though, is at least it's not going bananas. From the top 1% all the way through to the top 3%, they're offering a 4 red star. It's only the top 100 where they're giving a 5. And at the moment, I don't know that that's that big a deal to upset the apple cart. But if we started seeing 6s and 7s up there, just for the top 1, 2, 3, or even top 100, I think that would suck.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's not a great update if you're more of a newer player or somewhat casual, because really what this is going to mean is less off blitzes for, established or long-term players, because they're either going to want that star upgrade or they're going to want the promotion credits from the duplicate star upgrade. So it's going to result in more blitzing, I think, which is likely exactly what Fox wanted. But it's going to be more difficult if you're a newer player or if you're a semi-casual player to do as well in Blitz, especially for a character that's been around for a while, if they're also giving away red star promotions in those ranked rewards.
Look, I will say this, though, is that if at the top 11 to 25%, which is, a lot of people who you don't have to be crazy competitive to slip into that bracket, even if you're a newer player, the fact you're still getting 3 red stars there, going from 0 to 3, that's a big jump. That's enough to take a character to being viable from, sorry guys, I'm not ready to do Ultima 6 yet, to, yeah man, let's crush this. So I think it goes both ways. You're right, this is definitely going to mean much more blitzing. The only thing that would have made me just go, do you know what, this is the perfect update to this, would have been if we had have seen at the top of the milestones, make one milestone way ahead of that 14, make a big jump, 3 or 4 million, so that, you got a guaranteed 3 just from milestones. Yeah. I think I'd love to see something more like that people can blitz towards a specific target and not have to wake up that morning after when the results come out and they feel like they've spent 3 days farming blitz only to miss out on anything that is going to boost their account. Yeah, for sure. So let me ask you this. Have you ever taken a blitz off because you didn't pull high red stars on, say, a new character? Consistently. Yeah. I mean, when I was doing blitz competitively, and it's been a while now because, life and stuff, I'd much prefer to buy the characters now. But yeah, that's 100% true. Yeah, so now if you can say you don't pull good red stars, but there's that new character blitz and you can walk away with a 4 star if you crack into, that 2 to 3 or that 1 to 2%, you're probably going to have a few more people going hard than maybe were in the past. Oh, yeah, that would make me blitz for sure. Yeah. Because, I mean, it's a guaranteed reward. It'll make me want to if I could walk away with that. And that gives Fox Next. I mean, that would change the metrics for milestones and chill. I wouldn't just stop at 750 or whatever it is. I would just keep going until I hit that. And then even if I didn't place after that, I wouldn't care because I got something that boosted my account forward. If it was a dupe, at least I still got the currency hopefully that means something one day. At the moment, shit's just too expensive, but eventually,
Right. Yeah.
We will see. So look, I think there's more good than bad here. Which is kind of the theme of the last month for Fox Next, which for me is a refreshing change, man. Because normally it just feels like, oh god, bad, good thing, bad. Whereas now
Right.
it's I reckon it's about 80% of most of the things they've been trying to do. Sure, there's some bugs and some unintended consequences of some bad choices, but for the most part, man, more good than bad recently. I like it. Hopefully
Yeah.
this is a trend.
I totally agree. I think things have definitely been trending in the right direction. And if we compare it to kind of where we felt the game was at, I would say probably, 5 months ago, there's definitely a lot more to be happy about with this game now than I feel like there was then.
Yeah, I think DD3 got people down when we saw the reality of what it was, and now we know that there might be some new things coming, and not necessarily content-wise, other than that PvP, but knowing that, we can develop our characters and maybe, be able to specifically get the ones that we want to level up one day. Who knows, man? But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Now, obviously, the reason they've done something a little bit different is to celebrate Tadano Japan's victory over DD3. So what they're doing is looking at characters that he used to complete DD3, and then they're doing voting. So there's completed voting on either Sif or Hella on Facebook. It looks like Sif is going to be the one that wins. So there might be a blitz with a very similar structure coming to this soon. That better be percentage-based. I'll be so excited if it is, because I'll finish Sif for sure, man.
We're going to have to wait and see on that one. I don't think I can get my heart set on that just yet. They've hurt me before.
Yeah, that's right. It's just like, when you're like with a partner and they do something a little bit different in the bedroom, you're just like, oh my God, where'd that come from? That was amazing. Let's do this all the time. And they never do it again. You're like,
Yeah.
And then there's voting on right now for Iron Fist or Miss Marvel. Again, hopefully with the same format. Let me ask you this. Out of those two, who would you pick?
So I think we're going to have slightly different answers. I'm definitely more on the Miss Marvel side because I think she has better top-end utility longer in the game, whereas Iron Fist in a Defenders team is a little bit more early and mid-game and kind of falls off more later on. So I'm definitely on the Miss Marvel end. I think that Brawlers team has a little bit better punch, longer and more, especially into the later stages of the game.
I mean, I do agree with you. I think for super late game, Miss Marvel with red stars that are decent is definitely the better character of those two. Because Iron Fist, stopping him from doing what he does is a little bit easier than shutting down an out-of-control Miss Marvel. So, but I do think for newer players just starting the game out, I think the better choice would probably be Iron Fist. So I guess I kind of love it if all of the veteran players sat out from the voting and we let the new players decide this one. I'd almost love a poll only sent out to people that have been playing for less than a year when it comes to some of those characters and let them choose. And then, I don't know. I'd love to see some more new player-friendly gear.
Yeah, and I mean, thinking about it, especially with the 100 free Captain Marvel shards that they decided to give to people that just joined the game, being able to pair that up with a Miss Marvel in, early phases, if you're just getting into Alliance War, you're just kind of getting established with that, that can be a pretty big gain for you in that mode.
Oh, Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel in the same month and getting red stars on one of those? Yeah, that's huge. Especially if they get lucky enough to get some reds on Captain Marvel. That sort of mid-game level, that's a huge jump up in defensive quality. And even the ability to clear a lot of campaign stuff as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah. All right, so there's also going to sneak in a Hydra Sniper Blitz here. I'm loving the fact that there's actually blitzes coming soon with characters that I still need to farm, mate. Like Hydra Sniper and Sif, yes please. That'll knock 2 off my list. I like it a lot. So that'll be on its way.
Yeah, that's good. I definitely went pretty hard on the Red Skull blitzes, so I'm kind of looking forward to a few blitzes that I can sleep my way through. But it's
how hard
good
did
to
you go?
see.
Because I chilled pretty hard on that.
Did you? So I hit 2,000, top 2,000 on the first blitz, and 1% to 2% on the second.
Where'd you finish? 5 or 6 yellows?
So I didn't buy him or anything, any of the offers. So
okay.
I ended up at 4.
Still, though, I mean, free of charge. That's pretty good. I
Yeah.
mean, I know what you charge by the hour though, so that's still an expensive time frame for you. Do you know what I mean? But,
Exactly. Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So, funnily enough, you hit the nail on the head. Why didn't I go super hard on Red Skull? One, I bought his opening packs and got some good luck there. But number two, I got one red star.
Yeah.
I got one red star, so I was like, what's the point? I don't care.
Exactly. Yep.
So yeah, and look, funnily enough, that keeps his character power low. I've had a lot of people underestimate that team because I've got it sitting just below 200k in war. And people hit it thinking it's going to be easy mode, but there's a few sneaky ones in there. Like I got 5 on Armored Guard, so he takes a few more opening hits than they're going to expect, and then it's 4 on everyone else.
Yeah, and I would almost argue that of that team, him being a high power is not that important. It's really the minions around him that you want to survive and keep getting res that are going to keep him around you. And once all of your minions are dead, the battle is kind of lost at that point anyway. It's not like he's going to win it single-handedly. So I've definitely been taking more of a approach of, gearing and leveling the minions around him and not worrying too much about Red Skull himself.
Look, I will say this, is that you want him to resist ability blocks and slows, because they're
Right.
two things that you can really start to pull this team apart if you can land one of those two things. And then anyone that's got turn meter rewind as well. So the benefits of having a higher Red Skull, it's not necessarily about his damage or survivability for after everyone else is dead. It's about stopping things from landing on him so that he can make the minions keep doing things when he has his turns. He can keep summoning more frequently. He can call in those 5 assists, all the fun stuff.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't really put the T4s into this team. Like, you and I, put a video out of exactly which ones we're going to do, but when I saw Black Order was coming, I put 2 in and went, wait, what am I doing? I'm going to wait for Black Order, then I'll come back to this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, as we'll talk about, I think, in a little bit, Black Order is a thirsty T4 team.
Oh, my
They are
God.
thirsty.
Yeah, we should do some quick commentary on that when we get to their kits, actually.
Yeah.
All right, now the anniversary milestone event was finished. I think that's one of the best free-to-play player things happened in a long time. An achievable calendar with insanely good rewards for everyone. Even people that aren't ready for DD3 yet, my God, it's going to get a lot of people ready, I would say a month at least earlier than they would have otherwise.
Oh, it was magic. That was a fantastic event.
Yeah, I mean, bugged to hell. So, I mean, classic Fox Snacks. But if they come through with that compensation the way that they said they will, I'm still fine with it.
Yeah, I'm going to hold my breath and keep my fingers crossed that we get the compensation that we're owed.
Yeah, this is where we need RNG seed theory of will we get correct compensation from Fox Next. That's the real RNG here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Look, they've announced that they will. I'm sure we'll get it done. I'm just hoping they send the same thing out to everyone. But I don't know if the bug was consistent, so it's hard to know.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. All right. So Asteroid M and Block Party have been in the game as we speak. So people are gathering Magneto. People are getting some more T4s ready for the Thanos and Black Order coming soon, because you're going to need all of those. Now, Proxima's kit was also updated. I think we said it correctly on the podcast last week and on the video, but somehow the in-game kit was different. So her passive is going to boost Thanos' speed for 2 turns, not 1, which is exactly what he needs.
Yeah. Yeah, the 1 turn speed did nothing for him whatsoever. So it's good that they updated that text.
Oh, absolutely. And look, it looks like, folks, that with the coronavirus and the Fox Next team, or Scopely, whatever you want to call them these days, working from home, someone had to man the ship and someone had to run the office section. And it looks like they left Decimal Point Jeff in charge, which in the last 6 months, whenever they do that, my man, he's put out some good stuff for us. So the $1.99 offers from the last week have just been exceptional. Human Torch for a couple of bucks, you can get up to 100. You've got Ghost Rider, which I cannot believe was a $2 offer. So good. I think there was War Machine earlier in the week and maybe a couple of others as well. They need to bring... I hope everyone kind of went in on that, even if they're not normally spenders, because I want Fox Next to see the metrics of if you put in good quality characters, if they've just been made available to farm, people will buy them in droves.
Oh, yeah. And especially if you're a new player, that's just like a quantum leap forward in your roster.
Oh, yeah. absolutely. Because on one day, I was not preparing to spend anything on there. Like, I bought the new characters recently, but I haven't really spent much on anything else. But when I saw that, I was like, okay, well, I have to get the Ghost Rider ones because I missed his farm completely with my daughter. And then then I saw the gold orbs, like $1 each. I'm like, okay, well, for $1, yeah, all right, Foxnex has been doing good things lately. I'll support good decisions. And then I saw that gold calendar for like $5 or whatever it was, where it's like 2 million gold over 20 days. Yes, please.
I was the same boat. I saw that and I was like, we got to snatch this up.
So good. Well, see, you and I especially, we're cramming for Black Order. I know if Roy was here, he'd be like, no, man, I'm free to play and I'm going to stay that way. So, but for us, man, like that sort of stuff, when you just want a dolphin every now and again for a major account boost, when you got 5 characters, you got to get to 75. That kind of stuff is, well, ironically, gold. It's liquid gold is what it is.
Exactly. And with the Symbiote Spider-Man milestone event coming back around here in just a little bit, having that extra gold income so you can hit those milestones, that's going to get you more, symbiote shards. It's all good, man. It's all good.
See, with what you just said, that's when I hate being a content creator because you and I have to make a choice, right? It's like, do I buy those characters and level them straight up to 75 so we can show people if they're good, garbage, or otherwise and worth their money? Or do we skip doing the content and leave people in the dark, but then I get the most out of those milestones by leveling all of my characters, saving all my gold till that milestone comes back, and then I get a better Spidey. The curse of the content creation, man. My God.
Yep, exactly. I know.
Yeah. Well, it sucks to be us. I'm sure people are going, oh, first world problems. Got it tough there, have you, Chew?
Yep, let me cry all my tears for you.
Oh my gosh, so salty. Then the 10 for 10 orbs were back again for the last week. These are always good. Couple of days were a bit average on the offers, but I mean, you can always just not buy them.
Yeah, I miss when they were just shards, but I mean, they're trying some different things.
Yeah.
They're trying to see what works. I can't blame them for that, but I'd like to see just the shards come back.
Yeah, and on good characters too. Like, I mean, if they had 10 Sif and, 10 Hela, or like, let's say you're going into an event and they just do 10 for 10 on all the characters that you need, like 5 days in a row. Dude, talking about people getting excited to log on and spend cores.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, might be a bit too generous though by the old standards. They need to make some millions. I mean, they're so hard done by with their 150 mil last year.
Well, they've reduced all of their overhead now, right? Because everyone's working from home. So they can be a little bit more generous, right?
Maybe that's why we're getting $2 offers, huh?
Yeah.
Do you know, I'm going to be really interested to see the figures for this. Like, do we think it's going to go up because you've got more people with disposable income with more free time? Or do we think that a lot of the dolphins are going to disappear out of the spending game because they're now all unemployed?
Or is that also a reason why we're seeing those $99 offers and 99-cent offers?
I think what we're trying to say here is that everyone needs to guilt the crap out of Foxnex and just say if they genuinely cared about humanity, they would make all their just packs like $2 right now.
Exactly, and they'd buff Night Nurse to OP legendary status.
Night Nurse, yeah. People were asking me the other day, actually, why is Night Nurse my avatar now? Like, someone said, oh, lol, Chew, the new avatar. And it was actually a great idea from one of the guys on my stream saying a few of his alliance was basically creating Night Nurse as the avatar as a way of... sort of just saying, look, I support, nurses and doctors at this particular time. I thought, you know what? I've never changed my avatar since day one. It's been Wolverine since the start of this game. Now's the time to temporarily change it. That's a good cause. That achieves absolutely nothing in society, but it gives me a chance to just go, yeah, I contributed, guys.
Yep, you feel warm and fuzzy on the inside.
No, I'm cynical enough to just know that sort of stuff when celebrities do it. I'm just like, ugh, you sang a song on Twitch, like I don't care. Yeah, crazy, man.
Like you've never sung a song on YouTube.
I haven't. I mean, I've rapped once. If you want to call it that, I wouldn't. I would call it talking in a microphone to a beat.
All in good fun.
Exactly. All right. The Deep Space Orb. Now, you and I decided when we found out you were going to be coming onto the pod because we had scheduling issues with myself and Roy. We're like, all right, let's do something for the people. And also basically just to sort of see, do I get screwed over more than usual? And the answer was heck yes. So these are the orbs, the Deep Space Orbs that are going to be coming to the game when we have the Black Order event for Proxima Midnight, the campaign come live. So I bought 10 of these, you bought 5, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So these, as per all campaigns, the sides are always the character that you need, which is Proxima, but the middle, it's random whether or not you get her. So for me, I got 42 Proxima from 10 orbs. Remember that? 10 orbs. I got 13 Rocket, 5 Chavez, 8 Groot, 9 Torch, 8 on Mantis, 13 on Ghost Rider, and 5 on Thor. So I wasn't really happy with... I think I only had Proxima show up once in the middle, and that was a 14. If that didn't happen, I would have been screwed. So I got 42 on her. Now, you opened half the orbs that I did, and what did you get?
I had a little bit different experience. So I pulled 51 Proxima, 8 Human Torch, and 8 Cable from 5 orbs.
That's crazy. If this doesn't confirm that FoxNext has an active, like, let's not give Chewie good things, like, lever somewhere, I don't know what happens.
Yeah, Fox definitely loves me a lot more than they love you.
I mean, I don't doubt that for a second. I've been a genuine jerk to some of them, so fair play.
Yeah, so, I mean, the characters in that orb are actually pretty good, especially, comparing to some of the other character event orbs we've had recently. There's some Sif in there. There's some really good characters that I was pleasantly surprised.
Look, I will say that. I mean, obviously, I'm at a point now where I'm just like, oh, nothing for me in the 6 characters that I don't have in the game. How terrible. Whereas I think for like newer to mid-range players, like as you say, there's a lot of good tunes in here that save you farming elsewhere, because most of those you do want. That's very true.
Exactly.
Then, of course, we have Beta has come back, and now that Alpha has shuffled off, and it looks like they snuck in Elsa, which you and I can't remember 100% if she was or wasn't in there last time. We think she wasn't, right?
Right, yeah. I don't remember her being in there.
No.
So I think she is a new addition.
Yeah, I do love that Colossus is in there, not going to lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. War Machine's not a bad little pull either. So, yeah, that's pretty good. But, I mean, kicking the nuts for some people, though, because just a reminder, guys, like when it comes to raids, and Greek raids especially, they have said for a long time now that, like, don't save your orbs for after that raid has finished, because sometimes you'll be able to use them for the next time Beta comes back. But in many cases, and this was no exception, if you didn't spend them last time, they're gone. Completely gone.
Yep.
So, yeah.
We're in Envoy, we're trying to, we communicate a lot of frustrations that players had that they didn't know that the orbs were going to be taken away. So hopefully next time Fox will send out an in-game message, maybe, 24, 48 hours before they pull those orbs as just a reminder to open them. So hopefully we can get that little improvement made so people don't get, screwed out of their orb openings.
Now, I will say this, that people who've been playing for a long time would know that, and one of the guys in Envoy should have known better when he lost like a lot of stuff that he was hoarding, hoping for something like Elsa being added. So, yeah, I don't have as much sympathy there. But for newer players and other ones that have only done like, say, one Greek raid, and then they come back and it's like, oh no, what happened? That's rough.
I was surprised by how many, established players that have been around the block for a while got screwed on their orbs that they were holding and now they can't open them. I heard from quite a few.
Yeah, that's because greed has sort of gripped people now, man, because we've had, I think it's like 3 orb openings in the last 6-ish months. And if you look at the first 18 months of the game, I think there might have been 1, maybe even none, right, at that caliber. The ones they did have was like, please, I'm not going to open my orbs for that. So now everyone thinks there's going to be an orb opening event like every month. So the level of hoarding that people are doing is crazy. Like there are some people that are sitting on like almost no orange materials. And you're like, oh, really? I raid with you every day. Like I see you get the same orbs that I do. And they go, yeah, but I just don't have as many. And then you have a look on their account. And they've got like 300 orbs unopened. You're like, what are you doing, mate?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was also one of the really nice things I liked about that anniversary milestone event was that it was an orb opening event, but it was a new orb. It wasn't something that you had to hoard and you had an advantage if you had, a 2-month stockpile of. It was something new that put everybody on the same level because I don't know that hoarding is great for this game. I mean, I've been told that this is a resource management game, but you're getting resources that you can use to upgrade your characters. If you're not doing that second half, if you're not upgrading your characters, what's the point?
Oh, exactly. Well, I mean, I can kind of see it both ways. Like me, I'm a targeted hoarder that like I'll go, this is a war team. I do fine in war. I'm not exceptional in war, but I do fine. Like I do what I'm paid to do in our alliance, which is be a meat shield with Roy, right? So I don't have monstrous teams, but they're at that level where it's like, oh God, do I punch down or do I try a punch up? Like I try and sort of confuse with that level. But you know, when I see that and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to skip this. This is a war specific. I'm not going to get that much usage. I'm going to wait. And then, you know, I had a lot of questions on that video we did for Proxima. And everyone's just like, man, how do you have so much gold and orange and whatnot ready to go when a new character comes out that you want? It's like, well, that's exactly why I kept it. Because I was waiting for a meta or a change or something that would benefit my account specifically in a very, very significant way.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not saying, you know, you should level every character that comes your way. You definitely have to, you know, pick your shots and, you know, focus where you want to go with your roster. But, you know, sitting on, you know, all of your orbs and never opening them, I've never really seen the benefit to, you know, your roster growth and your ability to, you know, do more in raids and different things with that. But that's also my personal thing. You know, everybody, I'm not going to tell anybody how they should play or how they should level their roster. So,
of course. So, yeah, that's not too bad. All right, I think that pretty much wraps up all the news for this week, does it not?
I believe that it does.
Awesome. That lets us into the super, super fun part for this week, guys, and that is the release of the Black Orders kits. So we ran through Proxima Midnight last week. We're going to go through Corvus, Cull, and Thanos Empowered today. Just because, yeah, there's some really cool stuff in here that this team's going to be mental. Whether or not we play them together as 5, which is how I think they'll be, or whether they'll be, you know, kind of little split off teams where you take 2 of the Black Order and 3 existing characters, we'll have to wait and see. So let's start off with Corvus Glaive. Now, he fits like a glove with the kit of Proxima that we talked about last week. He is insanely good when they're together, and he's all about that piercing damage. So he's going to attack on his basic, 180% piercing damage, clear 2 positive effects, and then Proxima's going to come in. She's going to do piercing damage on the assist, clear 1 positive effect. So every time he has a basic or she has a basic when they're together, they're going to clear a massive 3 positive effects per turn. And given that they're both going, that means in one round they're going to do 6 between them, which is huge.
Just fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely think this basic is on the T4 shortlist.
Yeah, because isn't it like 60% chance if you don't max it? Or might even be 50.
I think it's 50.
Yeah,
it's 50% if you don't max it.
I think if
you want that guaranteed assist.
If you're going to be splitting this team up, it's probably one that you could skip. But if you're running Black Order as Black Order, I don't think it's optional. I think the T4s on the basics of both of those characters are kind of must-haves.
Yeah, I agree. And I think even if you are splitting this team up, you're going to want to run Glaive and Proxima together with 3 other characters.
You're right. Yeah, that's very true. So that's very good. Now the special, he's going to attack the most injured enemy, ignoring taunt and stealth, for 400 piercing damage. And given his base attack looks pretty darn good, I think this is going to hit well hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because what is he at max? He is... Let me take red stars out of the equation here. So at 0 red stars, his base damage is still about 10,000, which is nuts. Add red stars into that, it's like nearly 18. Oh my god, that's big.
Yeah, he has well above average damage. He is definitely in the good damage category.
Oh, absolutely. And the fact that there's assists coming in off that and he's doing piercing damage as well, that's brutal, man. Absolutely brutal how much this guy's going to do. That is for certain. Then we have his ultimate, which is also pretty rad. So what it does is primary target damage 320%. Now, if he has stealth, though, it does double damage against the primary target if they have defense up. Part of me...
Well, and that damage is piercing.
I know. So given that that's going to ignore some of the D up anyway, doubling that damage, I think, makes this a very good kit. and more importantly, reinforces what we've been saying for the last couple of weeks, that the combination of these two characters makes it seem like they're built to be tank busters. Because this allows you to get past the defense up on a thick tank, but also you're going to be able to strip off a lot of the buffs on these tanks as well. So there's a lot of good here.
And ignore any of the armor that, you know, a tank may have, because their so much of their damage is that piercing.
Oh, absolutely. But here's the question that I have. So the adjacent targets get hit for 240% damage, right? If he has stealth and the primary target had defense up, is that damage doubled as well?
I think it is.
Yeah, because if it is, that ability is actually very good for wiping out possibly even 3 characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll have to wait and see exactly how that codes out. But I mean, on paper, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks real good.
All right, now we come to his passive. So he's going to spawn up with offense up for 2 turns right out of the gate. What's awesome about that is that if you didn't want to offense down the enemy team straight away with Proxima, although I think you're going to want to, it could mean that you could have a really good opening round poke on their tank or whoever is out there, because she can do her basic. He's going to get called in with offense up and just do, a very reasonable amount of damage.
Yeah.
Then he's going to give the Mind Stone and offense up for 2 turns on Thanos' first turn to him. And then when an enemy or this character drops below 50%, he's going to gain 1 charge of stealth up to a maximum of 2. So it sounds like he could probably stay stealth for a very long time. And if you're going up against minions, I think that basically equates to perma-stealth. Yep. Now, when he is in stealth, he's also going to gain 40% crit chance, 20% crit damage, and he's also giving 30% damage to all of the Black Order and Thanos. There is an incredible amount of awesomeness throughout this.
That may be the best passive we've seen on this team yet.
Yeah, and the fact that you're getting another 10% damage across the whole team and it doubles his crit chance when he's in stealth from 20 to 40, I think that's basically, that's going to be an essential T4 as well. There's not many here that aren't really, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, it is. In looking at this kit, I know I've mentioned it to you kind of off air, you know, Corvus really looks to me like I call it like a high IQ player. Just the way that his cooldowns function, kind of how the energy, you know, stacks up at the initial part, how you want to take advantage of him being in stealth for doing the ultimate. He's not really a slap him on auto and let him do his thing character. He's definitely something that you want to have in your hands and kind of manipulate and utilize yourself to get the most benefit from his kit, which I really like seeing. You know, so many of the characters that, you know, we've seen recently are just kind of, they do what they do. There's no real advanced strategy to it. This looks a little bit more like there's a higher level of strategy involved with, you know, kind of getting the next level of damage out of him, which I'm excited about. I'm excited to see how this all functions within the team and what we can do with it.
Yeah, you are right. And the only downside of that, though, and I've seen this in other games like this before, is that when they have abilities that are so much better under very specific circumstances, it makes them God on offense. What it also does is makes them very vulnerable if the AI is dumb, and it just basically says, okay, if turn 1, do ult, rather than, you know, target character that has defense up and not use the ult unless you're in stealth. You know, things like that. On defense is probably going to fall off a little bit. So the AI on defense for this team is something I'm a bit worried about, and why I think they may not be the best arena defensive team, but they might be insanely good at offense for most squads.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. We still have a bit of an incomplete picture not knowing Ma's kit, so I think a lot will become clear once we do. But I mean, I'm not sold that they are going to be the best defensive squad in Arena. But I'm probably convinced they're going to be the best offensive squad for quite some time in Arena.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's going to be the case. I mean, we'll have to wait and see exactly how they scale it. They're certainly marketing it that way, and I certainly don't hope they're going to disappoint the community because, you know, we have had this done to us before with, you know, X-Men to an extent, Brotherhood. No, actually, Brotherhood performed as advertised. I would say that... Wakanda's the main one that we all remember. We were sold, you know, Apex, best, whatever you want to call it, whatever word they used, and it just wasn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, they don't have the credibility to do that again and get away with it, I don't think. So he's hoping they get it right.
Yeah.
All right.
They have to nail this one.
Cull Obsidian. Now, I believe that he is going to become one of the best tanks in the game right now, especially if he has some buddies in the Black Order.
Yeah. Yeah, he's an animal.
Absolutely. So very simplistic basic. It's going to hit primary and adjacent targets for 300% damage. And his special is awesome. So clear 2 negative effects from himself. If he is with Ebony Maw, though, you're going to get rid of all negative effects. Taunt for 2 turns, defense up for 2 turns, get a death proof, and then heal for 20% max health as well. That's a hell of a turn for a tank.
Yes,
It's
it
like,
is.
what do tanks need to do? Oh, these 4 things? All right, let's put them all in one kit. Let's put it all on one turn. It's awesome.
Yeah.
The only downside of this is that it is available right up front, which means you're not going to take too much advantage of the 20% health heal. And it is a 5 energy cost. So it means once you use this, it's like 4 turns before you can do it again.
Yeah, that is tough.
Yeah, which makes you think that, yeah, these guys aren't going to do too well in raid if you're relying on that as a tank. But there are other things at play as well, like defense ups and turn meter. Maybe they're still fine. We'll have to wait and see on that. Now, his ultimate is pretty good as well against specific enemies. I don't think it's great against everything, but for a tank, it's a surprising amount of damage if the current stats that we have data mined are to be believed. So this kit is probably the only one that might change before launch, guys, because it's been data mined. It hasn't been officially released. So this ultimate, it is a 5 energy cost as well. You can use it on turn 2. Attack the primary target for 550% damage with an additional 25% damage for every death proof that you have on yourself. Now, he has 4 different opportunities of how he can give himself death proof. So that means you have the opportunity to do up to 650% damage with this ability, which for a tank, even if he had like average DPS, that's still going to be a massive spike of damage.
He has got really great damage. He's got higher base damage than Corvus Glaive does.
Now, again, that's the data mine kit. Like until I
Correct.
see that in game, I'm going to hold a little bit of caution there. You are right though that on paper it's probably like that, but yeah, let's have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then, of course, he's going to transfer all positive effects on the primary target to himself. Now, I want to know the order of this. I'm assuming it's as we read it, but I would love it if it was the other way around. Because then you could potentially do that with offense up.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that way.
No, neither do I. But, I mean, I can live in hope, right?
Yeah. I hate to be the dream crusher for you,
Oh,
Chu.
look, it's kind of expected. And then we get to his passive. So he's going to spawn with defense up for himself for 2 turns. When Thanos takes his first turn, he's going to give him the Power Stone and defense up for 2 turns as well. And whenever an enemy attacks a Thanos or an Ebony Maw, they're going to get 250% damage in their faces. And the fact that new Thanos has a counter as well, that could be quite a bit of reverse damage. Yeah. Now, whenever he drops below 75%, 50%, and 25% health, he's going to gain 1 death proof, and it can stack up to a maximum of 5 for him. And whenever this character has regen, he's going to also get 1000% resistance, and he grants himself and the rest of the Black Order 30% max health. Which, if these stats on the website are to be believed, 30% on top of that, this guy is about as meat shieldy as it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really is.
Yeah, I mean, his armor's not stellar. I mean, there's not too many characters in the game that are, but yeah, that health, it does not matter.
No. He makes Blob's health look like a chump.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, actually. Again, as long as that kit's accurate. I
Right,
don't want to keep
right.
prefacing that, but we kind of have to.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's talk about Thanos. He is getting a little bit of overwork here. So he still has the same kit he always has, but once he gets all the Power Stones, which get transferred to him on his first turn when you have a team of Black Order supporting you, he's going to become Empowered Thanos. Now, Empowered Thanos on his basic, he's going to hit for 300% damage. He's going to make them bleed, and then he's going to hit adjacent targets for damage, bleed them as well, and then he's going to gain a counter, which for a basic is not bad.
Yeah, that's a pretty good basic.
Yeah. Now, he's special, though. So flip every negative effect on your team to positive effects, and then flip all positive effects on the enemy team to become negative effects instead. Then make Cull Obsidian Taunt for 2 turns, and all of that is unavoidable and cannot be blocked.
Stupid.
That is just a way to take a fight that is getting out of your control and just U-turn it. The only bad thing about this is that it's a 5 energy cooldown. It's the theme of these guys is that their kits, they're designed to really burst and get up and running quite quickly. But their time in between, if you don't kill an enemy team after that burst, you are done.
Yeah. Yeah.
To the point where they could even expose them against Hydra. Like, they may not beat Hydra if they're too bursty too early.
That is true with such long cooldowns.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But I mean, we've seen that with a couple other big bursty teams like Power Armor, that you annihilate the first wave of Red Skull, but then you've got nothing left in the tank and they just barrel you down, and then you haven't killed anyone. So we'll have to wait and see.
They seem a little bit more like an Asgardian counter than I would say a Hydra counter.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how some of these abilities work. And the really big one, of course, is how much turn meter manipulation does Maw actually do.
Yeah.
Because if he does reduce turn meter for the entire enemy team and boost yours at the same time, really changing that speed dynamic, that's a whole different story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think just because of the nature of power creep, I think this team probably will beat just about everything in War Offense. But we'll have to wait until we see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, this ultimate is probably one of the more controversial ones we've seen in a long time. Like, I've spoken to other Alliance people on Discord, other content creators, and there's a lot of people that are like, nah, and Thanos is he's kind of meh, man. I don't think he's that good. Whereas I look at the potential of this, and it could be insanely good if you have like 5 or 6 reds, especially, on this guy. So he's going to attack all targets for 200% piercing damage. And then he's going to get 100% drain, meaning that he's going to heal through that as well. Then he's going to do that again twice. So it's 600% piercing damage, and very likely doing that with an offense up. And he's also got 30% increased damage coming from Corvus. So 30% buff plus a 50% buff on top of 600. It's an insane amount of damage that this guy can do. It can't miss, and it will also change the speed bar of all enemies by 20%. That's probably the part of it that I like the most. There were some queries raised about, well, because the ability repeats 3 times, does that mean you're actually reducing their speed bar by 60%? We don't think that's the case, but it would be pretty overpowered if it did.
Yeah, I don't think it's removing 60% speed bar, but the piercing damage that's doing, it's just a match ender. I mean, it's going to rock people.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's going to do a pretty decent amount of damage. Because if we look at Thanos, let's say at 5 red stars. At 5 red stars, he sits somewhere in the ballpark of about 12k, right? We think.
Yeah.
And that by itself is pretty decent. I mean, it's not Corvus good, but I think hitting 3 times, of course, and it's all piercing. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I think it's going to do a lot more damage than people think. Especially because Thanos has flipped everything at that point, on his special before he does this. There's a very good chance there's going to be defense downs up against the enemy team.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but you're absolutely right.
Oh, yeah, and that obviously there's another 50% again. So, yeah, I quite like it. Now, then we have his passive. So, if he starts with full health at the start of the match, this character or another Black Order character drops below 50% health, he's going to change his own speed bar by 50%, give regeneration to himself and all Black Order allies. So only for the first time this will happen. Then he's going to gain 1000% extra resistance, and he's going to lower the overall damage and the overall armor by 10% for all enemies. Which, that 10% reduction just flat on everything before calculations are made is really, really good, I think.
Yeah, it is. It just gives them a little bit extra survivability throughout the match.
Oh, absolutely. So, no, I like it. I don't know whether it's worth the T4 at this stage because, I guess you get the extra 10% on the speed bar when you do drop below half. You do get the lower armor on the enemy team, but I think the damage is probably the better thing. You might even be able to skip that T4. I think it's too situational.
Yeah, you probably can.
Yeah, it'll be one of the last ones, but not too bad. So this team, man, I think they do have the potential to be God mode. Whether or not they can do it at 4 or 5 yellows with minimal reds and still beat things like Black Bolt, Hela, I don't know if that is the case, but we'll find out in a month or so, I guess.
Yeah, I think a lot's going to come down to, Maz Kit, obviously, and with him being a controller, does he need red stars, high red stars to be effective, or can he get away with, not needing quite so much? It's also probably a team where it might be, depending upon where you have your red stars, kind of determines how effective this team is. I would say, a high red star call is probably going to get you a lot farther with this team than if you, have a, 1 or 2 red star version. So we'll wait and see, but the potential, I think, is certainly here.
Oh, absolutely. And I think using them as a bit of a, drop them in and watch them explode in some Ultima 7 nodes, I think there's some potential there. I don't think they have the sustain to do multiple nodes. Well, unless we're going to wait and see what's in Ebony Moore's kit, right? If he has a lot of drain that he gives to your team, maybe not. Maybe they're going to do just fine.
Yeah, it could be. And the one interesting thing with, Thanos, even with them updating his empowered kit, was if you remember when he came to the game, he had a Black Order tag.
That's right.
And they replaced that with an Eternal tag. It's interesting that they left in the Eternal tag and didn't put it back to Black Order, with this team coming to the game. We have a Eternals movie on the somewhat now postponed horizon, but he may be a character that has utility beyond just a Black Order team, possibly into an Eternal team at some point in the future.
Oh, absolutely. I just can't wait to see him up against in a team with Angelina Jolie and that guy from Silicon Valley. That's gonna be really good.
Yeah.
All right, any last comments on Black Order before we get into everyone's questions for the week, my man?
I don't think so. I mean, they're a team that I'm definitely going all in on. I've already been gearing my Proxima. I've got my Thanos all, tightened up. So I'm excited. I'm ready for the rest of them.
Oh, yeah. Tell everyone the maniac thing you did this week on your Thanos.
Yeah, so I'm not quite Big Roy level, but I do have a 6 red star thick nose. And I T4'd every single one of his abilities. And I do have a 4-star, 4 red star Proxima with her special, ultimate, and passive T4'd already. So she's about just shy of 57,000 power.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, mine's going to end up there eventually. How many reds did you say you pulled on her?
4.
4. Okay, so I'm at tier 12 now. I haven't got it at 75 yet, I suppose. That's probably the big one. But yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, she's 75 or 70 gear tier 13.
So that's the difference. So you get about 6 or 7k on me because of that. I'm the T4s too.
Yep.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
Crazy. I am. I'm the crazy man.
I like it. I like it a lot. Have you got any characters over 100k right now? Thanos now, what'd you say?
I do not have a single 7 red star character, so I'm happily paddling that no 7-star boat with you. My Thanos at 6 red star max is about 88,000. And I think he's actually my highest character. I do have an 84k Falcon. I think he's my second highest.
Yeah, I think if you have a 6-star character, 6 reds, that is also 7 yellow, and you have all 4 abilities T4'd, those characters are the ones that can go over 100. So you can be over 100 without a 7 red.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because I'm at, for example, my Black Bolt, he is maxed as far as I can do anything on him until I can get that 7 yellows on the event. He's at 97.4. So he'll eco over to about 106, I think, if I've done my maths right, when that comes in. So I'm looking forward to it.
Dude, that's a monster.
Yeah, I mean, but then you go up against people in Arena that have got 3 above 100, and you're like, what's the point? What's the point?
Yeah.
There's
always a bigger fish.
Always. All right, now let's do some questions from Discord. So look, apologies in advance, guys. As we said at the top of the show, we actually recorded this exact podcast yesterday. It's been a nightmare for scheduling. Roy and I couldn't line up until the end of the week, so I reached out to Piker. We recorded yesterday. His computer is basically some form of HIV positive now, I'm pretty sure. So we lost his recording, and that's what we're doing it again now. So as you guys know, as we read each question and answer it, we actually delete it. So unfortunately, those questions are gonski. So some of you have had the chance to resubmit them. For those of you that didn't, make sure before next week, put them back in and we'll make sure we get to them. What I'm going to do is read a couple of little questions and comments that popped up in Patreon first with some of the guys that I know submitted questions. So Big Spartan made a very good point in here. Big Spartan 34, that is. He basically said, look, there's missing milestone rewards right now. Falcon Special crashes the game. The Black Bolt passive bug is still here. The game sound is broken. Magneto in DD3 is actually healing Brotherhood. And can I just say I knew it for all the people that said I was crazy? We have people blitzing right now with Autobots. Like if you look at the scoreboards right now, it's crazy. I know you've had this one where the home menu button appears during the battle.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, so that means people are accidentally logging out while they're in the middle of a battle. Captain Marvel has been stealth buffed in challenges, meaning that she won't target Greg anymore, which is a massive kick in the nuts to people who haven't finished that. There's delays across the park. You have to re-download everything before the event. America Chavez now is also appearing to be healing brawlers as well when she drops into DD3. And then there's a delay to the second Red Skull Blitz as well. And then, of course, War Shelling continues. The broken Widowmaker calendar for a lot of people. Beta Orbs disappearing. And the fact in the new beta there was no Yo-Yo or Cyclops. He's kind of feeling that the game is in a bit of a... Despite all the positivity that there is with a lot of things, there's actually a lot of things breaking in the background too. What do you think about that summary?
It's kind of scary when you break it all down.
I know.
I feel like the community managers are kind of yelling all is well while the horde of angry players stampedes around them.
Yeah, no need to look behind the curtain.
Everything is fine here.
Yeah. Why don't you do this to me though, Spartan? I mean, there's no Roy. That means significantly less salt this week. And here you come bringing me down again. Hey? It's all good. All right, so Headshot, I had a quick question here as well. So question regarding the fact that we had to re-record this. What was more of a ball ache for me? Recording a whole podcast and losing the audio? Or back when I used to one-shot Enter the Darkness and would glitch out? So that glitching only cost me a couple of attempts, which I think was maybe 40 minutes of my time before I had to do it. I had to record that video, but in a way... I can't really be mad at that video because had I not have uploaded that, I probably never would have gone into YouTube. I only ever intended on doing this podcast. So that probably had more good things than bad. Whereas this kind of cost us about 2 hours, which means the video we were going to do today, unfortunately, is probably not going to come out, for a while now because I don't have time because I have to edit this as well. So I'd say probably the re-record for this one.
Yeah, it was not fun. We can say that for sure.
Like it happens sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, so 2 quick Patreon questions and then we'll head into everyone else's. So newcomer Hobbs, thanks for your support, buddy. I recently tried out Big Roy's Seed Theory and pulled a 6 red Ronin, a 6 red Yo-Yo, and a 7 red War Machine. I already had a 6 red star Thanos. I only became a patron, so Chewie had to read this. I've got my global characters for DD3 done, Hela, Invisible Woman, and already have everything I need for Black Bolt for Cosmic. Would I recommend Thanos and Minerva, or switch out Minerva for Ronan? Just Minerva. Forget the rest of those at the moment. So Cosmic, your essentials are, Black Bolt, Hela, and Minerva. They're the 3 that you really, really want more than anything. And then Bloodwalker. So to give you the rundown on Bloodwalker Piker is that he's pretty much committed to fat shaming me until I eventually start losing weight. Is pretty much what the theme here is. So Chew, I see you've been flashing the cash in the last few weeks with offers. I'm sure your Proxima Midnight's looking pretty decked out. No, Piker's is bigger. With the blubber that you're packing on, instead of looking common and going for the Fred Duke's Restless tights, have you thought about getting the white suit and pimp cane and cosplaying Wilson Fisk? Also, have you looked at the bodyweight exercises to go with kettlebell weights? You can hit us about every major muscle group. There are some very good videos. Look, the reason I don't want to go balls to the wall on bodyweight right now is mainly because of push exercises. I got an old shoulder injury from a very long time ago that when I was lifting all the time was awesome. But now that I've had nearly 2 years out of the game and the last 6 weeks really of just being stuck in a house, in a chair, and posturally I've gone to just garbage. I guarantee I'll basically light up with like biceps tendinosis or something like that if I start doing all that body weight. Oh, that's a phone that should have been on silent. So fun fact about my iPhone, if you drop it enough, you can turn it on silent and it still doesn't remain silent.
It sounded like someone was killing your phone.
Oh,
Like it was screaming out in agony just then.
Oh, no. I'll play it back for you. See if you can pick what this is. I'm sure I'll probably get hit for copyright, so maybe I should be careful. Actually, I won't play it. So it's the it's the Doctor Who theme song for the 11th Doctor.
Ah, okay.
So that's the part at the start, just before it goes through the big drum beat section and then the orchestral lift. So I love that song, man. And funnily enough, my daughter now has fallen in love with the opening sequence for that show. So like if she's asleep somewhere in the lounge room or if she's like in her chair eating dinner, she will like wake up and spin around and stare at that intro and then go back to whatever she was doing. Like there's something about that
that's
she
fantastic.
really loves. So
Nice.
I'm hoping that we're starting to breed a future nerd because another generation needs to rise.
I'm sure it shall.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's get into these questions. So, General Galvatron, how would you rank the following, Piker? Weird that he knew that you'd be on. Stun, slow or speed up, offense down, offense up, defense down or up, turn meter rewind, or just flat out massive damage.
Yeah, so I would say the turn meter rewind, number 1. The stun, number 2. Slow, speed up, 3. Defense down and up, 4. Offense, 5. And elite levels of damage, probably stick that. That's probably 4, and then we'll bump the defense down and the offense up and down back 1 slot. That's probably how I would go.
Okay. So I would go turn meter manipulation, speed up, then elite damage, then stun, then defense down, then offense up. Offense up is very good, don't get me wrong, but all those other things just, ramp up higher, easier.
Bit better.
Yeah. All right, Start Lord, do you think we'll be able to promote Ultimus to 6 or 7 red stars once we get the 5 reds from beating DD3? I mean, good point. I'd be interested to see if like that gets added into the orbs, but I imagine that's going to go to promotion somehow, someday.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know that you're going to be able to promote him.
Yeah, true. True. I imagine so one day. I mean, it depends on how much he gets buffed.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Juco137, can you add a DD3 channel to the Discord? The DD2 one was good when it was around, but I think people really want more DD3 discussion. Yeah, we can probably do that this afternoon, actually. I will look into it. I don't think there's as much decent theory crafting for DD3, if I'm honest. Once you see the video Piker and I are working on, that's pretty much the only thing you're ever going to need. Nothing will change after that.
Truer words have never been said.
Man. I mean, incredibly amazed. We partnered up with a very senior player who had a theory, and I went, "You're crazy, man." And then now that I've seen it, I'm like, "All right, you're actually a genius." Tack Jericho. I have 3 to 6 red star 3-6 red star characters: Miles, Night Nurse, and AIM Security. Can I just say I'm sorry? Is there a silver lining to any of these characters? Look, AIM Security is actually not bad. In that team, he can shake off a lot of debuffs of himself to the enemy team, and the longer that he lives, the more he can do that. He has really bad resistance, though, so it's very easy to take those off him. Miles, not really. Look, Night Nurse, I wouldn't be disappointed with in the long term. We saw it discussed this week that Black Widow, they're going to rework at some stage, was said in an interview by Cerebro. And it looks like Night Nurse was kind of mentioned that they know she's weak and not loved, though she used to be meta, but her time will come again. So I think having 6 reds in your pocket for that is definitely worthwhile in the long run.
Yeah, I think she'll get there.
Yeah, definitely. BWR, would you consider taking a 7 red star Black Widow into DD3? She's skill, which is low demand minis, gives speed up and has a stun. Downside is she's not meta, not sure about committing resources. Look, we know she's getting a rework. So, I mean, taking her up to T14 now, what if they change her in a way that makes her a better character in general, but a worse character for DD3? That's what I'd worry about for you. The downside, though, of us advising you to wait is that we know that's going to be tied to the movie. So you would have had that change in a month. You would only had to wait about a month. Now you're going to have to wait until at least November. So I'd probably say for now I wouldn't, just because she's a wild card. They might redo her in a way that's actually a nerf. We just don't know.
Yeah, or maybe there's some team synergy that she needs to take advantage of, that if you don't also have those characters in DD3, it's not going to be worth your investment.
Yeah, there's going to be something like that. All right. Sad, Pavel Nedved. Hey, love the podcast. Listening Masters launch on the way home from work makes my day. By the way, saved up 300 silver promo credits and 1 gold star. Torn between Black Bolt and Empowered Thanos. Assuming I have all 5 Black Order at 5 gold, 4 red, should I go for Thanos? Do me a favor and just wait, bro. Just because we're definitely going to cover Black Bolt when they're all out, and probably make that call as to, if you have that gold currency, where should you spend it? So my advice right now would be, maybe hang on to your silver promo credits for now. What about you, mate? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's always wise to, chill on those and kind of see what everything shakes out with the final kits and make your decision then once you have all the information.
Pretty much, yeah. Juzumaku says, hey guys, any DD3 Node 4 strategy? Yeah, log in, do Phoenix, log out. I'm not meaning to be asinine with that response, but unfortunately that is how it is. It's not necessarily a smart man's game mode, let's say. Node 3 was definitely more disastrous at the start, but yeah, it's just a matter of trial and error. Target those healers first, man. You don't want Shuri getting those heals out. And then bear in mind, Killmonger self-sustains as well. So don't barrel all your single target damage into him, because he's just going to heal again if you can't kill him. All right. Then we have Star-Lord. Hey, since we're both in DD3 now, not in a hurry, but what characters would you recommend to bring in? Ultron and Phoenix are ready to go. Look, Colossus looks pretty good. Black Bolt, Minerva, Loki, Hela, and Symbiote Spidey. They're kind of your essentials at the moment, I would say, or close to. But yeah, just take your time. Like, don't rush anything. And the longer you wait, like, you never know what meta characters are going to pop up in a way that just makes it so you can crush everything, which is really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I did a little bit of a side strategy on mine. I skipped Ultron and went for Falcon. And the turn meter manipulation and kind of getting those speeds up have been huge with getting my, Phoenix's specials and alts off. So I've had a lot of success with that, but it does require a pretty beefy Falcon to hang in there. So it's not probably a strategy that everyone can do, but if you do have a good Falcon, something to take a look at least.
Yeah, I think that the Colossus and Falcon combo is actually probably quite good, or just someone that can hide Falcon long enough so we can get that special off. And, maybe you don't get much benefit of it that day, but, you're going to get your next day's cooldowns back faster, which means less days per node. So I think Falcon's not a terrible choice. Anyone that has that kind of turn meter manipulation. Like, that's why at the moment I'm on pause for a lot of farming, because I want to see what Mork can do. Like, with the way we've seen leak parts of his kit that he's all about that turn meter manipulation, there's a very good chance I'm going to be using him out of the gate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, need to see him, though. Storner, first off, great show. Look forward to it every week. That's what keeps me playing. Question to both of us. What's our top 5 tunes to use across the board in all game modes? Chew, once the teething is over, it's all fun and games. The little characters start to appear. Time flies. Yeah, man. I mean, we've already seen a lot of her little character coming out, like what she's really stubborn about. What she finds funny. Like, me and my wife can do exactly the same silly little dance or face pull, but she laughs hilariously if my wife does it, and for me, just stares at me blankly. So I think adult, my daughter, is going to find me funnier, but I think child will definitely find my wife funnier. So that's kind of cool. Top 5 characters in all game modes. So I'm going to say Black Bolt number 1, maybe Hela. I think those two are number 1, 2, regardless. Then I would probably say Ultron, Sinister, Phoenix.
I'm probably not going to disagree with anyone on your list.
Yeah, the order might be different. Phoenix is kind of the wild card. There's she's not that great in raids, but then again, in every raid I've ever done, when you hit a node that's just ludicrous, you just go, all right, I'm gonna dump in Phoenix. She's gonna get me through.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, but the versatility of Hela, she's almost an essential character now. People don't understand how good she is because the AI is stupid.
So
But
stupid.
Fox Next has now realized that. The fact that they're changing coding on characters to make them not hit Greg, that's super skeezy.
Well, I always thought from the beginning that, when she came to the game that the AI would specifically target Greg to, even make her more OP. And it was only a matter of time before they changed that whenever they wanted her to fall from the, meta a little bit.
And looking not by much, really. I mean, I think that they're doing just fine. She's an exceptionally good character.
I agree.
And look, let me give you the hot tip, guys, as well. I had this debate with a content creator recently, and when you get to the end game of Ultima 7, like I'm talking about like not just the first 30%. To get 30% Ultima 7, Ultron is a fantastic choice. Okay, if you want to go past 60%, this is going to sound crazy, but Ultron is one of the characters you want to get rid of for Ultima 7. Mm-hmm. Why do you ask, folks? Because of time. It's all about beating that 5-minute timer. And Ultron takes far too long to power up. And he has to take 4 turns per round because of his minions, right? To have one character do his thing, ultimately his minions are spooling up to help him go. So that costs you precious, precious time later on. So swapping out, like when people unlock Black Bolt this time around or next time around, he's going to be one of the first characters we see drop out of Ultima 7. I really do think.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, we started crushing it as soon as we got rid of Ultron. It was amazing. We went from like just scraping in one shot on some of those mid-boss nodes to like having 2.5, 3 minutes up your sleeve. And you're like, what happened?
Yeah, we're definitely at the beginning of not just the timer, but power creep is going to start to play a role with Ultrons.
Yeah, I mean, if we start to see things like him getting red stars or like how ISO 8's going to change things, I mean, they're two things we know are on the radar, but no idea if they'll actually release them in the next 2 or 3 months. But yeah.
Right.
All right, MeTank, just got to DD3 node 8. Anything tricky about this node, like the awful double Iron Fist? I can't remember if it was 8 or 9 that had the deadly strifes. If you haven't got on this node, it's the next one, man. But ultimately, it's not as crazy as the first 3. If it's the strife one, though, yeah, prepare to eat a bit of strife damage before you get through it. And then also he's asking, are either of us planning on using the Black Order tunes in DD3? Since we'll likely need them G14 for Arena anyway. Seems like a good plan, even if they're not the best for DD3. So this is the interesting thing. Is that right now, if you look at Roy and I, we're basically splitting off. Roy's investing everything in characters that can get through DD3 quick. I'm probably going to invest more in my Arena team because I want to hang in Arena for a while easier. And I'm thinking Black Order is going to be the team that gets me to do that. So I personally think split the difference. Do a bit of both. I'll get some more advice for that coming soon once we finish editing a video. But yeah, I personally think dumping everything into DD3 just for the sake of beating DD3 twice and then you'll never touch it again, I think it's a mistake a lot of people are making, man.
Yeah, I'm taking a similar approach to you. I don't think I'm going to be taking my Proxima to DD3 certainly ever, if anytime soon. Definitely focusing more on the Arena just so we can keep those cores rolling in. That's definitely the longer term benefit I see in it.
Oh, absolutely. And look, if you get lucky on Red Stars and you make them monstrum enough, I think that you could even make a case for making just a really irritating, someone's going to have to burn 1 to 2 of their meta squads defense on wall. I know they're probably meant to be offense, but you could really ruin someone's day.
Mm-hmm, in a big way.
I mean, they'll probably use their Black Order there, I guess, but still, it makes them waste a team where you want it to waste.
Yeah.
Which I like these. All right, that is all the questions, guys. Again, for those of you that did submit questions but you haven't heard them, we did answer them, but the internet ate them. So I'm very sorry about that. All right, so that is another week done for the Strikeforce Masters launch. If you have enjoyed what you've heard here today, make sure you head to Apple Podcasts and leave us a review. Now, if you do like listening to podcasts online while you're alt-tabbed and doing or watching something else, make sure you head on over not just to Alternate Reality's YouTube page where we post all of our awesome videos, but you can also go to ANR Podcast. ANR Podcast. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, but you can listen to the pod over there. Once that channel's monetized, just by you listening, makes us like, I don't know, a 1/10 of a cent or something crazy just for listening to it over there. So make sure you like and subscribe that. If you do want to support the show, you can also head over to www.patreon.com/SFMOL. And again, you're welcome to subscribe to that Patreon. We do take Q&A sessions with our journeyman and our masters tiers every single week. But other than that, Piker, thank you so much for filling in this week, mate. I'm glad we got to do this finally.
Thank you so much, buddy. It was so great to get to chat with you for a little bit. I appreciate you letting me sit in for Roy. Hopefully he's back on next week, and I'll be looking forward to hearing both of you guys then.
Absolutely. And look, we'll get Piker to come back on and plug the new website as well. So he's looking at updating the website. We've had some feedback about ways we can make that even better for you guys, because we currently do store all of the awesome work that he does on alternatereality.com under the MSF resources, which you can find at the bottom of the front page for the link. And we're going to make that, even more better. And by we, I mean 100% Piker.
Yeah, we've got some big updates coming to a theater near you here real soon that I'm excited about. So things are about to get even better and even easier for everyone in finding and utilizing and checking out all of our content.
Absolutely. All right, folks, thanks for listening. And until next time, cheers.